high above the sacred valley, where the air grows thin and the clouds cling stubbornly to jagged peaks. Machu Picchu slumbers, wrapped in a blanket of mist. From the valley below, it seems almost impossible to reach, a city suspended between earth and sky, hiding in plain sight. For centuries, only whispers of its existence drifted through the mountains, carried in the songs of the wind, the murmurs of streams, and the tales passed quietly among the Quechua people. Travelers of the modern world, driven by curiosity and ambition, could hardly imagine the breathtaking beauty waiting above. Terraces cascading down the mountainside like green stairways to heaven, temples aligned with the sun, and stone walls carved with a precision that seemed to defy both human skill and time itself. The city radiated a quiet, almost hypnotic power. Every corner, every stone, every pathway seemed alive, as if the mountain itself had molded the city into being. It was more than a place, it was a living enigma. Explorers who arrived in the 20th century would call it the lost city of the Incas, but the truth was far stranger. It had never truly been lost. For the locals who had walked these trails for generations, Machu Picchu was never forgotten. It had been carefully hidden, kept secret, and respected as sacred. Legends whispered that the city had been built to withstand the unknown, a sanctuary where humans could meet the divine. And as the sun pierced the morning mist, illuminating the terraces in a golden glow, something stirred among the ruins. It was subtle, almost imperceptible. A shift in the air, a faint echo, a whisper among the stones. For those who truly watched, it was as if the city itself was awakening, waiting for someone to see it fully, to understand that this was more than history. In that moment, high above the clouds, Machu Picchu seemed to breathe, and the secret it held was almost ready to be revealed. When explorers first set eyes on Machu Picchu in 1911, they were struck not just by its grandeur but by its impossible precision. Each stone seemed to fit perfectly with its neighbor, without mortar, as if the mountain itself had guided the hands of the builders. Terraces stretched down the slopes, resisting erosion with a quiet resilience, while temples and plazas aligned with the sun in ways that suggested an understanding of astronomy far beyond their time. Scholars wondered, was this a royal retreat for Incan kings, a sanctuary for priests performing sacred rituals, or a fortress designed to survive some cataclysm yet to come? The city seemed to guard its secrets closely, leaving no written records, only the language of stone, sky, and shadow. At dawn, sunlight spilled through the sun gate, carving patterns across the temples and plazas. Every shift of light marked time with uncanny precision, as though the city itself had been designed to track the passage of the seasons, the solstices, and the stars. For those who watched closely, these patterns revealed a silent calendar, a cosmic rhythm etched into rock by generations long gone. And yet, even as outsiders marveled at the discovery, the Quechua people looked on with quiet understanding. They knew the city's truths, its stories of sacred rituals, hidden pathways, and ceremonies performed under the open sky, and they knew the modern world was not yet ready to grasp them fully. But Machu Picchu's mysteries ran deeper than stonework and solar alignments. In some corners, shadows hinted at shapes older than the Incas themselves. Certain walls and terraces bore markings that didn't match the known construction methods, symbols whose meaning had been lost, or perhaps deliberately concealed. Whispers of the past lingered in these spaces, suggesting that the city's history stretched beyond recorded memory, and that the Incas had merely inherited a legacy older than anyone could imagine. Among the ruins, there was a presence older than human hands, waiting to be uncovered, a secret that could change everything we thought we knew about the lost city of the Incas. Today, Machu Picchu is no longer a secret, yet it still demands a pilgrimage. Travelers ascend steep, winding trails cloaked in cloud and mist, following paths that priests, warriors, and royalty once trod. Each step feels deliberate, as if the mountains themselves are testing the resolve of those who enter. The air is thin and crisp, carrying the scent of damp earth and wild orchids. The distant roar of waterfalls echoes through deep valleys, reminding visitors that this city was built in harmony with nature, not over it. The sun gate frames the first golden light of dawn, spilling over terraces carved into impossibly steep slopes. Shadows stretch and bend across temples and plazas, creating patterns that seem almost alive. Llamas wander freely, their serene presence adding an ethereal touch to ruins once reserved for the chosen. Every stone, every pathway, every terrace feels suspended between heaven and earth, as if the city is a living memory etched into the mountainside, whispering secrets to those willing to listen. Some travelers linger too long, drawn by the city's silent call. On quiet mornings, the wind carries more than mist. It carries faint whispers, almost like voices of the past, murmuring among the stones. The city is no longer just a collection of ruins. It feels alive, watching, waiting. Every corner hints at stories that have been forgotten, tales of ceremonies performed under the open sky, of rituals tied to the sun, the stars, and the sacred mountains surrounding them. And then, hidden among terraces and walls, a doorway appears. A doorway that has been overlooked for centuries. Its stones are older, worn, but untouched by modern hands. It seems to beckon, promising answers that have eluded historians, explorers, and even the Quechua people. Whoever dares step through may uncover truths about Machu Picchu that the world was never meant to see. Secrets older than the Incas, waiting silently for discovery. Despite its fame as the lost city of the Incas, Machu Picchu was never truly lost. For generations, the Quechua people who lived in the surrounding mountains and valleys had known of its existence. They revered the city as sacred, passing down stories and rituals that preserved its memory through the centuries. To the modern world, its rediscovery in 1911 seemed miraculous, but to those who called these mountains home, Machu Picchu had never vanished. It had been deliberately hidden, preserved through reverence, secrecy, and an intimate knowledge of the landscape. The mystery was never how the city survived. It was how it had remained invisible to outsiders for so long. The trails through dense cloud forests, the jagged ridges, and the ever-shifting mists created natural barriers, protecting the city from discovery. Temples and terraces were not just functional. They were carefully designed to blend with the mountains, to hide their purpose from prying eyes. Even as archaeologists and explorers marveled at the precision of the stonework, the locals understood the true genius of the city. It was a place of both revelation and concealment. Every pathway, every wall, every sacred site was designed to reveal itself only to those who approached with respect, patience, and understanding. As the sun began to dip toward the horizon, shadows stretched long across the terraces, revealing lines and shapes unnoticed in the daylight. In those fleeting moments, the city seemed to shift, almost as if it were revealing a secret meant only for the most observant. Shapes appeared where none should exist, corners hinted at hidden chambers, and a quiet hum seemed to rise from the stones themselves. The sense of the extraordinary, of the ancient, the sacred, and the unknown grew stronger. In the last rays of sunlight, a shadow fell over a hidden doorway, revealing something impossible. A discovery that could upend everything we thought we knew about Machu Picchu and its ancient secrets. Perched at 7,970 feet, Machu Picchu rises like a crown above the clouds, its terraces and temples glistening in the golden light of dawn. After centuries of whispers, hidden trails, and careful concealment, the city finally reveals itself, not just to the curious eyes of travelers, but to anyone willing to feel its presence. Every sunrise over the Sun Gate transforms the ruins into a living tapestry of shadow and light, highlighting the genius of its builders and the sacred harmony between stone and sky. The city does not merely exist. It speaks, tells stories, and waits patiently for those who will listen. Visitors wandering through the plazas feel a strange pull, as if the mountain itself is guiding them. Llamas graze among ancient walls, unfazed by human intrusion, while the wind carries echoes of ceremonies performed long ago. The stones, though cold to the touch, seem alive with memory. Memories of kings, priests, warriors, and the countless hands that carved the terraces and temples with devotion. Machu Picchu is more than a destination. It is a revelation. It teaches patience, reverence, and the knowledge that some wonders are not meant to be rushed, discovered, or owned. They are meant to be witnessed and honored. Even as tourists wander the sunlit paths, the city holds secrets that remain untouched. Hidden chambers, shadowed doorways, and terraces obscured by mist hint at deeper mysteries still concealed beneath centuries of earth and memory. The Quechua elders knew these places, and perhaps the mountains themselves have chosen to guard them, revealing only what the world is ready to understand. Machu Picchu has unveiled its beauty and its brilliance, yet some whispers persist, of chambers untouched by time, of rituals that still linger in shadow, and of secrets the Andes have kept for millennia. The city may be revealed, but its true heart remains elusive, waiting for those daring enough to follow its call into the clouds.